Hey guys, welcome again here on this channel, and today I'm just coming with another video. So in our previous video guys, I have discussed about what is AI, what is a deep learning, and how AI and deep learning is getting implemented inside our problems, how we are going to use all of those things. And again we have also discussed about neural networks architecture, what is the working of a neural networks architecture, how it is getting what are the various things, various terms getting introduced inside a neural networks architecture. So lots of things we have seen. We have also discussed about feed forward connection, backward propagation. So this kind of things guys we have already discussed. If you guys are not aware about this terms, so try to go with our previous video and then start from here. So guys, fine, now try to start with this today's session. So first of all I will try to go here inside this one, and here I will try to open in our terminal. So here I will try to open the Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook, anyone you can try to open, but again I like lab, so Jupyter Lab you can also try to go with. So it will try to open Jupyter Lab for you, just wait. Yeah, I think our Jupyter Lab is getting started, and inside this one so I have to go with this file, so we can try to open it and just wait for some time. Yeah, fine. Now here I will be going with a full screen because it will help us, right? So guys, we have discussed about each and everything regarding a neural networks architecture, a biological neuron, maybe a perceptron, a feed forward connection. We have also discussed a backward propagation. We have also discussed. So here I will just try to cover some of the basics. So here in this diagram, what we have to see that in this diagram, this is a I can say a kind of a typical architecture of a neural networks. So it is known as artificial neural networks, or maybe a ANN, where this round circle type architectures are these things are these things are known as perceptrons or maybe neurons. So these neurons will be available inside layers, layer by layers. So this will be your first layer, second layer, third layer, fourth layer. So this will be your input layer, this two will be your dense layer, and this will be your output layer. Now we will try to ingest our data inside this architecture. So we have connected each and every neurons of this layer through each and every neurons of this layer. So these are the intermediate connections that we are going to introduce. So these connections are having some kind of different weights and biases, which will be considered as a parameters. So these all things guys I have discussed in a very detail in our previous videos. So if you are not aware, try to go try to watch that videos and then come here. So here data will be ingested, and some type of processing will happen here. Again inside this dense layer we are going to use some kind of activation function which will try to perform some kind of processing, and it will again give some kind of output. Then this output will getting inside this layer by going through this particular connections, and here again some kind of processing will be performed using this kind of activation functions, because again in each and every dense layers we are going to use some kind of activation functions guys that we have discussed earlier. And then finally we are having our output layer where we are also using a kind of output function. So here each and every inputs will getting summed up, and then we will try to perform some kind of functions again here, I mean some kind of calculations, and then finally we are going to get some kind of output which will be considered as your y hat or maybe your predicted results. So now taking this kind of predicted results guys, we will be trying to calculate our loss function using various multiple losses, like as maybe if it is a regression problem, so there maybe we can try to use L1 loss, L2 loss, maybe Huber loss, maybe Haing loss. So this kind of loss functions are available here for regression works. Again in terms of classification we can try to use log loss, maybe I can say some categorical cross entropy loss. So there are various kind of loss functions available, so we can go with all of those things in our later I can say later sessions. So basically here we have calculated some kind of losses. Then we will try to send this particular loss to some kind of optimizer. Inside this optimizer we will be going to do use some kind of algorithms, like as some kind of optimization algorithms, which will be maybe your BGD, MPGD, SGD type of optimizers, or maybe some kind of momentum based optimizers, like as your ADA grade, ADA delta, ADA grade, ADA delta, maybe RMS prop, maybe ADAM, maybe NADAM, maybe NAG optimizer. So there are lots of optimizers available here, and we will try to introduce each and everything in a sequence. So here we will try to do some kind of optimization, and then we will try to do back propagation. Back propagation means that we will try to calculate using this optimization, we will try to calculate the new values of these parameters. So whatever parameters we are going to introduce here, like as weights and biases, like as here, so these are the weights and biases. So the same kind of parameters, these two parameters will be available here inside this layer, over here also. So in terms of a back propagation, we are going to use some kind of differential equations, and then using that one we will try to calculate some new values of this all parameters, and then we will try to assign all of those new values to these parameters. Then again with the new values we will try to ingest our data again, and again feed forward connection will start. Again we will try to calculate the loss, then again optimization will happen, back propagation will happen, and again we will try to change the weights to a newer values. So in this way this feed forward connection and backward propagation will keep repeating themselves again and again, and in this way our network is going to reduce this particular loss, and it will be able to achieve some best values for each and every parameters, which will try to define some kind of patterns, some kind of relationships in between your data points. So guys, this is a basic overview, basic theory, basic concept behind the training of this neural networks. Now I will try to discuss one very important thing, that how we are supposed to change these weights, because it is very much important. So first of all, what we are trying to do, so in a back propagation in general, so in order to train the network using a gradient descent algorithm, we need to know the gradient of each of the parameters with respect to the Cauchy error function. That is, we need to know this one, delta C upon delta WM and delta C upon delta BM. So it will be sufficient to derive an expression for this gradient in terms of the following term, which we can compute based on the neural networks architecture. So delta C upon this one and delta AM upon delta ZM. So see guys, actually what is happening. So if you will try to give your focus here inside this diagram, you will be able to understand these things in a very clearer way. So what we are trying to do, so our main goal is to do some kind of learning. In feed forward connection, there will not be any kind of learning. Our network will not try to learn anything in feed forward connection. But after this feed forward connection, whenever we are going to get some kind of y hat, maybe some kind of predictions out of the model, so we are going to use this particular predicted result, and we will be going to pick and choose one kind of loss function, and then we will calculate loss. Now there are 2 or 3 terms, right? There are 2 or 3 terms. The first one term is, guys, I can say that is a loss. Second one is your error. Third one is your cost. So basically I am not able to write anything here. So let's see if I will be able to write something. So yeah, fine. So there will be error, right? There will be a loss, and there will be a cost. What it will be? So these 3 terms are very much identical and very much nearer, but having some kind of different meanings. So error means what? First of all, we will try to come on this error. So what is error? So error means that suppose that whatever data you are trying to pass, so in a very first sequence, what we will try to do in terms of machine learning also, So we will try to split our data set into two parts, right? A train part, test part, a training data, test data. And inside that training data, we are having two kind of values, right? Like as maybe your X train and Y train. X train means what? X train means that this X train is a kind of tabular data or a kind of matrices which will be having only your features, right? I mean F1 features, F2 features, F3 features, I mean all each and every columns which are going to contribute, right? Each and every features we are going to have in X train. And inside Y train we are having only the target column, right? Same thing is going to happen here. So we will try to pass X train here inside this architecture, inside this network, and here we will going to get this Y prediction. Now in terms of machine learning also we are going to calculate some kind of losses. And what is that loss? Do you having some kind of idea about this particular loss? How we are going to calculate this loss? So what was happening there? So we will try to compare two things because see, you are having your X data, you are having your Y data. So whatever records you are having, like if I can try to give here anything. So see, here I have actually given, no actually here not basically, but see I will just try to write here. Yeah. So here what I will try to do. So first of all I will try to go with this F1. Again we will try to go with some kind of F2. Again we will try to go with some kind of F3, right? And then we will be going with some kind of your training data, right? So this will be your Y values. So see guys, now yeah, so here what I can try to do basically, so here I will try to write X, and then I will try to give here this one, and yeah, and this will be your Y, this will be your Y. So here not Y, maybe your Y will be here. So just wait, actually yeah, Y, and then there may be your Y hat or maybe Y parade, right? Yeah, Y parade, or I can give Y hat. So Y, oh shit, actually I'm not able to give. Okay, fine, so go with Y parade, right? So here we will be having some kind of values, right? We will be having 5, and here we will be having some kind of again values. So maybe this will be your what, 2 or maybe 2.254, right? So see what is happening here. So here what we are trying to do. So this is our original data, guys. This is our original data. This one. This is your X train. This is your Y train, right? So this F1, F2, F3 features you are trying to ingest here inside the network, and this is the real value of Y. This is the real value of Y which you will be keeping for calculating the loss. Now here after some kind of processing, your network is saying that okay fine, I have did the processing, I have did the calculation, and now finally I am trying to give this kind of predictions, I mean Y hat. Now what is this Y hat? So this model is trying to say that its Y value will be, its target will be this value, right? And again we are having already some kind of Y value, some kind of original Y value we are already having, right? This is our Y value, and model is saying that no. So according to me the Y values will be 2.254. Model is giving this value, but original value is 5. So in a real time this Y prediction should be equal to 5. If it is not equal to 5, then I think our model is giving a wrong result, right? And then what we try to do? Then we try to calculate some kind of error, and this error will be what? This error will be Y minus your Y parade. Your Y parade. So you are trying to calculate the differences, that okay fine, our model is trying to do some kind of predictions, but it is not nearer, it is not similar to the original value. Now what we are supposed to do? So now we are supposed to calculate the differences, that okay fine, how far we are from the original value, how far we are from, and this particular gap is getting calculated, this difference is getting calculated, and this distance is known as, this difference is known as error, right? This is our error factor. And can I say that this error factor has been generated due to your these parameters, and these parameters have been selected on a random basis, and due to that random values we are going to get this kind of predictions, because see here we are trying to do some kind of I can say some kind of processing, some kind of calculations. Here again we are doing same thing, here again we are doing the same thing. I mean, we are going to do some kind of calculations. In calculation wise, there will be not any wrong thing, because computers are too much accurate in doing calculations. If again our answers are not accurate, then I can assume that there may be some kind of wrong interventions, or maybe a wrong output, wrong input that we as a human being are giving. A computer is not going to do any kind of wrong work, or maybe not giving to any kind of wrong result. We humans can do, a computer will not do. So what will be the possible reason why I am not giving a good similar result? Why I am just getting 2.254? Why not this 5? So can I say that we are trying to multiply this particular weight and adding this particular bias to our inputs? Can I say? And these particular values are selected randomly on a random basis. So we can select, we can assign anything, any value, any numerical value to these parameters on a random basis. Now these connections, these parameters are having a very much, I can say, a significant role in terms of your outputs. So whatever predictions you are going to get, this particular prediction will depend upon this one, right? Not this one. This particular output will depend upon this weights. Can I say, guys? Can I say? This output will depend upon this weight as well as this weight. Again, this weight, not this weight, maybe this type of input, whatever input, because again, this output will getting multiplied again with weights, whatever weights are available here and biases are available here. We are going to utilize those parameters, and then their linear sum of inputs we are going to get here as an input in this cell. So this output will directly be dependent upon this linear mix of input, and this will depend upon this correction, this input, and this will depend upon this input. So guys, in this way we can directly say that our this particular output will be dependent upon each and every parameters, values, whatever we are going to assign. And in the very first beginning we have assigned random values. That's why we are going to get this much difference, and this difference is known as error. And see, there are two different types of parameters, weights and biases. So can I say that this particular output, this y hat, this error factor, or not this error factor, maybe if see, you are supposed to get this y hat equal to y. You are supposed to get this y hat equal to y, but you are not going that thing, right? You are not going that amount. You are going something very different. Now we will try to calculate this difference. Okay, fine. How much we are not equal, I mean how much we are farther from this actual value, we will try to calculate this difference. And this particular difference is known as error, and this error will be depend upon weights, biases, weights, biases, weights, biases. So can I say that this particular output will be, or maybe this error will be directly depend upon your weights and bias? So the same thing, guys, I was trying to convey in our previous lecture, that suppose that this will be our 3-axis. This will be our 3-axis. This will be our x, y, and this will be our z. Don't try to consider this one. See, actually here I'm not able to draw any kind of figure because again I'm not using any kind of boards or maybe Epic Pen kind of software, so it is not possible. Maybe again we can go with a Google Meet, but we'll get some kind of disturbances. So fine, just try to consider here. So this will be our z axis, this will be our y axis, this will be our x axis. Good. Now this will be our weights, this will be our biases, and this will be our error factor. And can I say that this error factor is parallel to sorry, not parallel, is perpendicular to this one or this one? So here a similar kind of relationship, a similar kind of, I can say, a pattern we are going to get inside here, over here, because this error factor will depend upon your weights and your bias. And now we are supposed to reduce this particular error factor in any cost, because if your model is having some kind of error, means that whatever predictions your model is giving, if it is not correct, then why we are why we are burning our computational resources, why we are building this kind of a hectic, clumsy neural networks architecture? What is the significance of doing that one? Nothing. So we are supposed to reduce this particular error. This error should be reduced to a very minimal value, very optimal value. Again, getting a similar value is very much impossible. I mean, very much hectic. It is not possible because whatever data we are going to get, so it's very much impossible to get here 5. But again, we can try to reach nearby, maybe 4.8, maybe 4.85, maybe 4.9, maybe 4.9999112 a very, I can say, very nearby results we can try to achieve, but achieving 5 is very much difficult. But again, we will be supposed to reduce this particular error factor, and we will be supposed to get some kind of predictions which will be very much near to this original value. And for this purpose, we are going to use optimization or maybe backpropagation. Now, whenever we are going to ingest a single record, means a single row inside this architecture, we will be getting a error for only this single row, only this single record. And error for this single record means the difference of y and y pred for a single record is known as error, right? If we can try to write, so what will be error? So in that case, guys, error is defined as the difference between original y, right? Original y and predicted y, right? Yeah, so error is defined as a difference between original y and predicted y. Now what is your loss function? What is your loss? So loss is what? So see, actually error is defined as a difference, right? In terms of error, we are just going to define this difference, right? Not for a one record, nothing. So whatever differences we are going to get, this difference will be known as error. And what is loss? So loss is defined as error for a single record. So see guys, there is a very thinner line of difference, right, between error and a loss. Error is what? So error is just the difference between original y and predicted y. And what is loss? Loss is defined as error for a single record, just a single record or single row. And what is cost? So a cost function will be cost function is defined as combined losses for multiple records, right? So see what is happening. So whenever we are trying to ingest a single record in each and every iterations, then in that time we will be going to calculate a single error, I mean single loss for each and every rows. But what is actually happening, so we are not generally going to pass each and every records in just a single maybe single record each and every time. No, we are going to pass our records into batches, into one batch, into multiple batches, or maybe any number of batches. So see, so whenever we are trying to pass these records into batches, in terms of a batches, so inside a batch is what? A batch is a I can say combination of different multiple records, different multiple records. So see, there may be 10 different records, 20 records, 50 records, 200 records, 1000 records, 10,000 records. We can try to make a batches of this many records. Now whenever we will try to ingest that particular mini batch or maybe batch into this architecture, we will be going to calculate here a cost function, because cost function will be defined as a combined loss, means a combined loss for each and every records, each and every multiple records, whatever we are having inside the batch, we will be going to calculate a combined loss for each and everything, right? So there will be different cost function available, like as maybe if I can try to write here, so there may be L1 loss, or I can say MAE, I think, mean absolute error, or least squared error, right? Least squared error. So, yeah, L1 loss. There may be L2 loss, L2 loss, or MSE. There may be, I can say, again in terms of machine learning, we will be going with some kind of RMSE, some kind of RMSLE. These are various loss functions we can use for I can say regression. Again there will be MBE. Again there will be a Haing loss. Again there will be a Huber loss. We will try to see these things in a later stage, right? Huber loss. There may be a log loss in terms of classification. Again in terms of I can say logistic regression, or maybe yeah, in a logistic regression we are going to use this log loss. So this will be some kind of multiple losses, guys, which we can try to use, but inside a neural networks we will be going to pick and choose one loss as it will be needed. So we will try to come upon this particular topic in after some time, but first of all here we will try to understand how this thing is going to happen. So see, as I am saying that this particular loss will depend upon our weights and biases, so this weight will be dependent upon your, this loss will be depend upon your weights and as well as your bias. So see guys, what is actually happening, that maybe I can try to recall some of the concepts from physics classes or maybe mathematics classes. So there in our childhood we all have studied that, okay fine, so if there are two quantities like as maybe x and y is there, right? X and y, there are two quantities available. So if both of the quantities are interrelated, or maybe if x and y are dependent upon both, so maybe there is a relationship between x and y, like as if I can talk about this equation. So if I can talk about this equation, guys, so you know, so equation of a line will be what? Will be y will be m dot x plus c, right? So this will be equation of your line, c, right? So here this particular equation is involving with two different variables y and x. So x and y are two different quantities available here. Now if we can try to give some kind of focus, we will be able to get that this y is depending upon the x, this x is not depending upon y, but this y is depending upon x. So see, whenever if any quantity is depending upon another quantity, then there is a possibility, not a possibility, then there is a rule that there will be some kind of changes. So see, if this y is dependent upon x, if we are trying to change the value of x, there will be also a change in the value of y. But if we are trying to change the value of y, it's not necessary that x will also going to change, because x is not dependent. X is not dependent here on y, but y is dependent upon x. And here I am trying to focus only that if some quantity like y is depending upon another quantity, if it is dependent upon x, so if we are going to make some kind of changes in one quantity, other quantity will also going to get change. And this particular change, guys, we will try to calculate using what? Using differentiation, right? Differentiation means what? Means dy upon I can say your dx, right? So in our school days, we all have studied about dy upon dx, right? So what is this dy and what is this dx? Dy upon dx, what is this? Are you guys able to understand this particular meaning of this dy upon dx? So see, so here in this equation, just try to make some kind of focus. Here in this equation, this y is a dependent variable, a dependent quantity over x, because see, we will be able to calculate y only if this calculation will getting performed, right? So whatever x value we are having, we will try to multiply m with x, and then we will try to add c, and the same thing is performing here, happening here. So this m will be like as your weights, right? See, if I can go with this way, maybe, so your error will be see, okay, your error will be equal to your weights, W-E-I-G-S-T at weights into I can say your x plus your bias, right? So the same kind of thing, guys, we are going to get also here. See, again, there will be some kind of different equations available here, but just try to correlate with this sequence. So here this y is dependent upon x, similarly error is dependent upon your this x, right? And these weights are getting multiplied with the x, and bias is getting added. Now we can say that, see, this y value is dependent upon x. It is true, right? Similarly, in that sequence, this y is also dependent upon m and also dependent upon the c, right? Because if we are going to change the value of am or maybe a c, this value is going to get fluctuated. It will be get changed, right? Right, guys? Yeah. In a similar way, this error will be getting dependent upon the weights or as well on the bias. Again, it will be dependent upon the x, it is true, but here weights and bias are getting changed only because this x is a kind of input. We are not going to change our input, because if you are going to change the values of input, this will be not as per our data is saying. Whatever values of data, whatever input values we are having, that is according to our data set, and we are not supposed to do any kind of changes inside our data. So x is not going to change here. At any place, any time, x will not change, but this weights and bias will get changed. And this error is also depending upon the weights and also upon the bias. It is depending upon x as well, it is true, but again this error is dependent upon weights, x, bias as well. Now x will be constant here, x is not going to change, but this weights and bias is getting changed. It will be changed as per our requirement, and we are supposed to change this weights and this bias, because whatever error we are going to generate here, whatever error, this y minus y pred, this error is depending upon this weights and bias, right? because if we are saying that this error is depending upon the weights and biases, so whatever values we are going to assign here in the weights and in the biases, these values are responsible for getting some kind of output as error na. In that way these weights and this bias, these two parameters are very much responsible for giving this kind of error output. And now using this back propagation, using this kind of optimization, we are supposed to change the values of weights and bias. And see guys, this error is dependent upon weights, this error is dependent upon bias. So what we will try to do, we will try to calculate the differentiation. We will try to see, because differentiation is a kind of I can say entity, a kind of I can say what I can say. So differentiation is basically used for calculating the change of one quantity with respect to another quantity. If here I am saying that okay fine, this y is changing as this x is changing because y is depending upon the x, so this particular change we can try to denote with dy upon dx. dy upon dx means that what? dy upon dx means that change in y with respect to x. If I can try to write here this meaning, you guys can try to note it down. So this means that change in y with respect to x. And same thing we will try to do here. So here we will try to calculate your dw upon de, not de upon your dw, and this will be what? This will be change in error factor with respect to what? With respect to weights. And same thing we will be going to perform here. So that will be our C. So I will try to perform dE upon dB, and here this will be change in error factor with respect to bias, right? Bias. So these are the two different kinds of differential equations that we are going to use here. One is the dE upon dW and second is the dE upon dB. So differential of this error factor, whatever error factor we are going to get, or error means we can say error or maybe loss or maybe cost. Here we can use any word here, right? So differential of this error or differential of this loss will with respect to this weights and with respect to this bias. So now we will try to calculate the change in error factor with respect to weights, and we will try to calculate the change in error factor with respect to bias. See, these are the two different changes that we have to calculate. Okay, fine. Now what we will do after calculating these changes, what we will do? So see guys, see, so what actually backward propagation says that, so backward propagation says that just wait, yeah, see here, yeah, see here, see, try to see here in this particular figure, right? This is a kind of a function, and a similar kind of function guys we are going to draw, because again whatever loss we are going to use, or maybe a cost function we are going to use, so a cost function graph will be similar to this one, right? And our error factor, this will be our error factor axis, this will be our I can say our maybe weights, or maybe bias will come near in downside. So maybe weight this one, bias this one, and this may be our error. Fine. Now our error factor will lie upon in this direction, maybe here, 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 at any particular point. And now we are supposed to reduce this particular difference, because at any point of this curve, suppose that this curve is the curve of maybe a graph of our cost function. Suppose, see, actually it's not a graph of cost function, but suppose that it is a graph of your cost function, whatever cost function you are going to use, maybe L1 loss, L2 loss, whichever, it's graph of a cost function. And your error factor will lie on this curve at anywhere point, any point it will lie anywhere. So from that particular point we will try to calculate the distance between this line, this axis, and this point. We will try to calculate this distance, and this distance will be calculated on the basis of this axis, right? So there will be some kind of differences. Now our error is what? Our error is the difference between this point and this point, because this will be maybe our 0th line and our error is here. So we are supposed to bring down this error towards this line. As much as it is possible, we have to bring down this particular error point on this line. So now we will try to do what? So as we are saying that this dE upon dx, see, these two types of changes that we have did, right? Here we have calculated. So this change will try to give me that, okay, fine, this error is depending upon weights, how much it is depending upon the weights, and how much our error factor is depending upon the biases. So these two changes we will try to consider. And now since our loss is depending upon your, I can say, your weights and biases, so we will try to change the coordinates. We will try to change the coordinates of weights, and we will try to change the coordinates of biases in such a way that this error factor will come down, right? Come down. And see, whenever we can talk about any kind of graph in a mathematics, maybe any kind of graph. So in a graph like this one, or maybe this one, anyone. So inside this graph, guys, there may be a kind of minima point or maybe a maxima point. So if I can talk about this blue graph, blue line, this will be its maxima point. Maxima means the maximum value of that graph. So a particular position where this graph is giving a maximum value. So this will be maxima and this will be minima. So there will be two different points, minima and maxima. And a curve will be having multiple minima, multiple maxima. It will depend. So now we guys are supposed to bring down our error factor from a very much height to this point. I mean, we will try to bring down our error factor on our minima point, this minima point, because according to the mathematics, we knows that on maxima of the curve and on minima of the curve, there will be zero change. There will be no change. And see, we are calculating some kind of changes. We are calculating a change that, okay, fine. So our error, our loss is depending upon weights, and this is the change. This is the change. And depending upon this change, we are getting some kind of error. And if our loss is depending upon biases, so okay, this is the change, and depending upon this change, we are getting some kind of error. So we will try to change the coordinates of weights and biases in such a way that this error factor will come down on a minima point. It will not come down from this line. Actually this is not a kind of, I can say, a good line. Yeah, see here. So this is a kind of, I can say, graph where maybe our error factor will be here, and we are getting a very, very good, I can say, not here, maybe this is a kind of maxima point. So see, over maxima point, there is something, there will be no any change, because change means what? Change means that so this will be y value, and this, so this will be y value. This is our y axis, this is our x axis. And if we are trying to increase one quantity, other quantity will also change. So here we are moving towards, we are moving on the x-axis, we are trying to increase the value of x here, right? So as x is increasing, so from here y is also increasing. See, y is also increasing. As x is increasing, y is also increasing. So if there will be any increase in both x and y, there will be a change. But see here on this point, from here to here our x is changing, but there is no any change in y. This means that at our maxima point there will be no any change between any quantity, any dependent quantity, there will be no any change. Again, this is our minima point. So here on our minima point, x is changing, here x is changing, but there is no any change in y. Y is not changing, there is no any change we are going to see in terms of y. See, so over maxima point, minima point, there will be no any changes, there will be zero changes. And going through this particular concept, guys, we are supposed here, maybe here at any point here in this region, there is a possibility that our error factor will lie. Now we will try to bring down this particular error on this particular minima point. We always come towards minima point because maxima point will be very farther. Maxima point will be very much farther. We will need too much computational resources to be burned for reaching maxima. We never reaches maxima, we always reaches to minima point. So we will suppose to reach to the minima point here, so that we will be going to get a zero change. Our main objective and idea is, our main idea and objective here is, we have to scale down, we have to bring down this particular error factor in such a way that it will come down inside this minima point. Again, it is a very much it is impossible to bring down this particular thing here, right? It is not achievable at any point of time, but we will try to achieve at this point, because comparing to this point is having minimal loss. Here minimal loss. So we will try to achieve a minimal loss. Zero loss is very much hectic, very much I can say it's impossible, but minimal loss we will try to achieve, and in that way our model will be able to predict, it will be able to give me a very correct outputs, not a too much accurate, not a original value, but it will give you a value which will be very much nearest to your original values. So this is the total I can say idea and objective, guys, behind this backward propagation. And what we are trying to do, so we will be trying to use one kind of chain rule inside differentiation, because here we will be, see here there is back propagation in general. So this delta, this is the partial derivative, guys, this is the partial derivative that we are going to calculate, because see here weights and biases are getting combined, right? Getting combined to create one equation, getting one single equation of cost function, and inside that cost function equation we are going to get error, we are going to get weights, we are going to get biases. So that equation will be having different variables maybe. So in that case we are going to use partial derivative concept. This partial derivative concept we all may have studied inside maybe in terms of our graduation. If you are belonging from any I can say inside our graduation, so if you have studied about mathematics, so maybe in terms of mathematics, so in calculus we all have studied this one. But again, if you are not have studied these things, so that's fine, just try to understand here. So this is a kind of partial derivative which we have calculated from a single function itself, and then we will try to calculate this particular equation in this way. So this C, delta C upon delta AL, delta C upon delta W Mij. So what we are trying to do here, we are trying to calculate our we are trying to calculate the differential of this cost function with respect to the weights. And weights means what? Which one weight? Which one weight? So mth layer, ith and jth connection. So this is a, I can say this is not too much easy, but just try to think in this way. So this is the layer, L0 layer, L1 layer, L2 layer, L3 layer. So this will be first layer. In backward propagation, it will always start from the end. In a reverse direction it will start. So this will be first layer, second layer, third layer. So using this m, we are denoting the layer. So weight of mth layer. Now inside this mth layer there are two different connections, weight 11, weight 12. So this is the weight 11, this is weight 12. So ith and jth connection, right? So in this way we are going to calculate this particular differential, partial differential, and this will be getting calculated using this chain rule. Just try to think here, make some kind of focus here. So see, what is the chain rule? So chain rule is that this C is depending, we have to calculate this C with respect to W, but C is here, cost is here, loss is here, and weights are here. So what we will try to do? So can I say that this loss will depend upon this output and this output will depend upon this one, right? Or this loss will be dependent upon this Y prediction and this will depend upon this connections. So in that way, chain rule is a kind of procedure where one quantity will depend upon another quantity and another quantity will depend upon another quantity, and in that way we will try to calculate first of all differential of this cost with respect to this Z. This Z is what? This Z is the output. This Z is the output. See, so see here I have written each and every notations. So Z, linear mix of inputs to layer M. So if this is the layer M, so here linear mix of input is coming. Linear mix of inputs means that this input, these are the linear mix of input, and we are trying to do inputs. So this Zm will be linear mix of input in here, right? Yeah. So we can say that this loss will be depending upon the linear mix of input. Means whatever input we are giving here, we are trying to sum them up, and that will be our Z. So our loss will be dependent upon our Z, and then we can say that our Z will be depending upon our weights. We can say that this Z will depend upon these weights, right? In that way, guys, we are going to calculate this particular differentials, and then we will try to calculate the change. Now we will be using a kind of gradient descent optimizer, gradient descent algorithm, and then we will try to update this particular weights. Now see what will be happen inside the gradient descent. So inside the gradient descent architecture algorithm, we are going to use one equation, and that equation is what? Actually there is a very huge mathematics, guys, which you will not able to understand if you are not belonging to the mathematics. But again, so yeah, try to have some kind of I can say some prior concept, some prior thing you have to just learn from here, and then you will be able to understand these things once you will be able to do some kind of practicals, maybe, because these things are very much logical and very much, I can say, complicated also. So here I am trying to show you one yeah. So this is the equation. This is the equation to update parameters, where we will try to update the values of weights and values of biases, new values of weights and biases. So weight new will be weight old. So whatever older weights we are having, see, in a very first beginning we have assigned random weights. So older weights minus eta into this is the differential upon, sorry, dE upon dW, means that this dE upon dW is getting calculated through this way, right? This way we are going to calculate our dE upon dW, E or C equal. So dE upon dW we are going to calculate in this way, and then after calculating the differentials, guys, we will try to multiply it with this eta. This is known as eta, and this eta is known as a learning rate, right? Learning rate. And people says that this learning rate will try to control the flow, will try to control the updation of the values. So we are trying to multiply some kind of values here, numerical values, which we will try to calculate. So whatever changes we are going to see, so whenever we are going to calculate some kind of changes, that okay fine, this is the change, and we will try to subtract that particular change through that one weights. So these things are not going to happen in a very much faster way. We will try to control these things, because suppose you are on your roof. See, you are on your roof. So from your roof, from your fourth layer, I mean fourth story building, if you are on your roof and if you have to come down on the ground level, you are not able to take a jump, right? If you are going to take a jump, there is a huge possibility that it will not come to ground level in a very easiest way, right? And same thing will happen here. That's why we have to use a stairs. We have to use down stairs to control our whatever steps we are going to get, whatever steps we are going to take for coming down to the ground level. So see, we are not coming directly, we are not taking a one single jump. One single jump means what? Means only a single step. But no, we are not considering only a single step. If we will be taking only a single step, we will meet with an accident. Our legs will be fractured, our hands will be get fractured, or maybe we will die. So that's why we are going to use downstairs. We will try to divide this whole distance into some equal steps, and then we will try to cover these distances into some steps. And same thing we are going to follow here. We are trying to control this changing using this learning rate. This learning rate will try to control the change, and then this particular product will getting subtracted from the older weights, and whatever value we are going to get, that will be our newer weights. Same thing will happen here. dE upon dW we will try to calculate, then we will try to multiply with the learning rate, then we will try to subtract it from older weight, older biases, and this new value will be our new bias. And guys, in this way we are going to calculate these new values of weights and biases, and then we will be able to I can say update the parameters, values of parameters, and then again feed forward connection will getting started. Again loss will be calculated, again optimization will happen. Then in terms of back propagation, we will again try to do same kind of calculation, and we will again going to update these parameters. And see guys, this updation of the values of the parameters is known as actual learning. If anybody is asking from you that okay fine, so inside a machine learning, inside a deep learning, what is the meaning of learning, how you are going to define this learning, so you have to say that, so in terms of a machine learning or maybe a deep learning, whatever algorithms we are going to use, so those algorithms are having some kind of parameters, and those parameters are getting learned, because these parameters are getting learned, and their older values are getting updated. They are going to get some kind of newer values, and this kind of values upgradation is known as learning, actual learning. And this is the thing that we are going to observe in the training of a neural networks. So learning, training, updation, both are the same thing, and it always happens in the terms of back propagation. So I think guys, I have discussed this very much clumsy concept here. Again, there is a huge mathematics, so if you like, you can pause the video, you can go through each and everything in a very detail, you can try to understand these things. Again, gradient descent is here, so you can try to do these things from yourself. I think here is a picture, but again it's not loading, so you can try to load it by yourself. I will not load it here, it will waste my time. So again, I'm going to give you this particular notebook, so there will not be any problem. Just go with the notebook and go with the video, go with the lectures, and then you will be going to understand each and everything. So guys, in this way we are going to do this kind of feed forward connection and backward propagation, and in this way a training will going to happen inside a neural networks architecture. Now guys, on top of this one, we are going to use different kinds of activation functions. So activation functions means in terms of there will be sigmoid, tanh, ReLU, eReLU, pReLU, ELU, softmax, max out, soft plus. This 10 different kind of activation functions, guys, I'm going to discuss in tomorrow's session. And don't try to skip the tomorrow session, right? So tomorrow the next video will be upon this particular activation functions, which are very much important, guys, very much important in terms of interviews. People are always going to ask some questions from this particular topic, maybe from back propagation, maybe from your feed forward connection, maybe anything inside the CNN. It's very much important. So I will try to discuss activation functions, then I will come to loss functions, and then again we are having too much things, guys, in terms of maybe yeah, so this is the optimizers, like as there is SGD, BGD, MBGD, again Adam, ADA grade, ADA delta, NAG, Newton's method, momentum, lots of things we have to discuss here. So maybe I will try to take some 2 or 3 or maybe 4 classes to discuss each and everything in a very detailed manner, and then you will be able to discuss, explain each and everything in front of your interviewer in a very easiest way. So then after that one, I will try to, I can say, train neural networks with our own. We will try to design a neural network for our data, and we will try to train itself. We will try to go with a Colab GPU, Colab TPU, and then we will do practical implementations. So fine, guys, this is all from my side, and I think you have enjoyed a lot in this particular video, and I think it's so try to give me try to give like, because again we are having this initiative only for you. So give a like. If you are new here, try to subscribe the channel, share the link of videos of this playlist, this channel, to each and everyone who is interested in learning deep learning, maybe AI. So try to share these things, try to subscribe the channel, and give us a like. Okay, so fine, bye. Now let's meet in the next session.